It's so it's like exciting, weird, blast from the past, all that combined. Obviously, I know they got a couple more steps before it's official, but he's he's a guy that we have a lot of experience with. He knows our system. He knows how we do things around here. He was instrumental in that turnaround to become a championship caliber team, and the fact that he's doing what he's doing in Australia is obviously he still loves to play the game. So I know he'll be able to help us.
What did you think when they presented you with the idea of Sean?
For sure, I figured once he went to Australia, that would probably be the last we saw him in NBA circles. So when the name came up, I thought it was kind of one-sided. Like, we're familiar with him, we like him. Let's call him and see if he's interested. I didn't get the mutual vibe, so and now it's about to happen. So it's pretty cool.
What do you think Andrew do for you guys defensively?
What he's done his entire career. Who knows how many minutes he'll play or what the situations will be. Obviously with DeMarcus back, but he brings toughness, a high IQ, rim protector, and just a physical toughness that it's kind of hard to find. So all those things combined.
What are some of your favorite memories of Bogut your time together?
I mean, there's a lot. He has a whole bunch of one-liners, and I call him cynical, but it's real entertaining in terms of just he's so consistent, and you love that about him in terms of he shows up, he does his job, he goes to work every day, knowing what he's trying to get out of it, but it's kind of his mannerisms, disposition, and all that. If you really get to know him, you love it, but he keeps you keep you at a distance, so it's kind of full that balance. But he's a great dude to have in the locker room.
Do you expect it to be a pretty smooth transition, given that he knows the system and everything?
For sure, and just the overall expectation of when he's called on to play, he'll be ready. Again, who knows how often that'll be, but I think he knows the situation where we're at right now, and the reason he's coming back is because he can help us in certain spots, and just being ready for that.
Beyond the X's and O's with what he brings, do you think that he can kind of provide the same kind of like jolt, adrenaline rush that the guys felt with DeMarcus coming back?
Yeah, but I think it's just more where we are in the season.
Right.
Understanding what's at stake in the next month. So that's all we really need to focus on. And really understanding what team we're going to be come April 11th.
I guess to that point, when it comes to, you guys are beyond tests or measuring sticks, but when you look at your opponents this week and the challenge that they pose, is this a good time to see if you have those good habits in place if you guys are playing where you want to play?
For sure, because you got to play well to beat these teams. Boston, Denver. Who's after that?
Phoenix, Sunday.
Yeah. But obviously right now we're focused on Boston. They're a team that's going to be hungry. Extremely talented, just haven't put together wins, but we understand what they're capable of. So playoff intensity, atmosphere probably this next week. Just got to be ready for it. Sort of like what Philly was.
Because you guys did it so well, getting your team together, people get the impression you just put a bunch of really good players together and it's going to work automatically. How did it go with you guys? How much work you guys have put into this team?
I mean, there are obviously phases to the whole journey. From 2013, just becoming a playoff team, to 2 years later winning a championship, taking that next step, to Katie coming on board, some of the other vets that we had having to kind of redefine our style of play. There are a lot of ups and downs, but our collective mindset, approach, and how hard we worked at putting everybody in the right position to be successful. Yeah, that doesn't happen overnight at all. But it's a little bit of patience that happened, especially that first year, 2017, and it's just gotten better from there. So talent is one thing, but like you said, putting pieces together where they actually make sense, and you play at a consistently high level every night, or try to at least. That takes some work.
With that start, to give up a little something. Does everybody have to give up a little something of themselves?
Nah, I mean, you could look at stats and stuff like that, but in terms of just us being the best version of ourselves, we don't want anybody to lose any of that to make it all work.
With that starting lineup, has it just been natural growing pains, or what do you attribute kind of the ups and downs of that group, and what do you think you guys need to do to get to the next level?
I think most of it's when you have that many weapons, sometimes you can overthink a little bit, on the offensive end especially. Try to worry about who's getting shots and stuff like that, and making sure the ball is moving. The pace that we're playing at early in games, all that type of stuff. I don't think we're 22 games in with DeMarcus, but I think we're feeling more comfortable with it. It hasn't produced, great first 12 minutes, but I think the next step, a part of that, is just the defensive consistency and reads, because it's a little different having a traditional big like DeMarcus. So we talked about it. We repped it a couple times or often, and trying to understand how it's going to be different with that lineup versus the lineup that starts the second quarter to the lineup that finishes the game. We have a lot of different looks and got to be able to adjust on the fly, and understand that in the playoffs, you can't consistently play from behind and expect to be successful.
So the history that you guys have with Kyrie, with all those finals matches, and then since that was lost, how do you think that whole journey has shaped you overall, going up against him in high stakes games?
How it's shaped? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, just what do you take away from that whole journey?
There's a lot of just competitiveness, high level of play, and I would assume that all those back and forths with Cleveland, when they saw us, we saw them, we understood what was at stake, and it brought the best out of everybody. And we all, I think, respect the fact that we're playing games that matter at the highest of high levels. So lots changed, the different dynamics, but we could look back at that time period and just respect the competition more than anything.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I do.
You see the trailer?
I did.
What are you most excited for? How do you think it'll end?
Everybody's wondering how it'll end, or hoping that there will be some kind of twisted turn saying, "Oh, we're gonna keep it going," or spin-offs or all that type of stuff. We'll see, but yeah, a lot of unknowns. But I guess I gotta try to binge watch the first 6 again.
Again? You've seen all of them.
I'm up to date, but it's been so long since I've seen. Yeah, I might have to get a refresher. Play. There you go.
You mentioned DeMarcus being a traditional big. Do you think he could be a switch guy at times?
For sure. And it may look different, but it's about how we activate our defense. We can't be on our heels, and if he's out there guarding, perimeter guys and in ISO situations, and he makes them work, makes them take tough shots, or funnels them to where the help is, and then we rotate out of that. We're really good in those type of situations. We just all got to be on the same page, and that's been the biggest deficiency so far, is making those subtle adjustments to know where he's at on the floor, where I'm at on the floor, KD, Draymond, Clay, whoever, and all 5 guys are just moving as one. If a breakdown happens, being able to cover for each other, and just see things before they happen, and we haven't been great at that yet.
Do you like that DeMarcus spoke up and took that initiative and said, like, I can switch, I can do this, and he wants to be a part of everything you guys are doing?
Yeah, because I knew that wasn't one of his concerns. It shouldn't have been the first, whatever part of his rehab process is getting back out on the floor and getting his rhythm. But now that he's feeling good, his body's adjusting to playing competitive live basketball, you can kind of nitpick now and say, how can we as a team get better? How can he get better? And again, this isn't all on DeMarcus. Like, individually speaking, we all haven't been at our level that we expect to be. So that's a collective effort to raise our intensity and our focus on the defensive end. And we'll figure it out.
Do you think that just happens naturally as you get closer to the playoffs? I mean, is this team at that level yet where you want to ratchet it up?
Yeah. I mean, we've been there before, we've done it, and we know what it takes. You would love to say that we could bring that every 82 games of the regular season. It's just so hard. And so we've shown bright spots. We've had some extreme lulls. But at the end of the day, now through these last, we got 18, 19 games left, you should start to see a gradual, rise in our defensive efficiency and our just focus. I use that word all the time, focus and energy. That's really what it is.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to Bogut yet?
Not yet, no.
Back to tonight's game, though, the Celtics, most people, I think, expected them to be 1 or 2 in the East, and they've struggled a little bit, especially lately. When you watch film of them, why do you think they're struggling right now?
I don't know. I mean, they're struggling compared to their expectations going into the year, so you take that with a grain of salt and understand what they're probably truly capable of talent-wise. With all the weapons they have, but I don't know. It's at the end of the day, teams know what they're about, just like with us, all the other top teams in the league, and there's no easy nights. You get everybody's best shot, so playoffs for sure. When you look at that talent, of course they're a threat to get to where they want to go. So playoffs, we'll see how it shakes out.
Except regarding DeMarcus, like, what were the highlights of him and JC going back and forth?
Who?
When DeMarcus was doing his work this whole season, what have been some of the highlights when he and JC have been doing work together and having their scrimmage battles?
A lot of it is just shaking our head at all of JC's terrible corner 3 celebrations. That's probably the biggest thing. When JC made a shot, he made sure everybody knew he made a shot, which is how you know he can't shoot.